We're back again. Good afternoon. Welcome. This is Gameplan on 99.7 Joy FM. Oh, I escaped that one. Oh God! You see, if you think critically about what just happened, you will find it funny. 99.7 Joy FM. We're back with Game Plan. We're on until 2:50 p.m. Your most authoritative Friday afternoon show. So what's on the table today is a rebuilding process starting at the Black Queens. We'll try and get into what they're trying to do and what the future looks like for that national team. The Ghana and the 17 team are in Serbia. They're also preparing. That's another rebuilding process happening at the lowest of national teams, the Black Starlets. It's Ghana Premier League this weekend. The new athletics outdoor season has started. Lots of Ghanaian athletes abroad doing great times. It's a big year for Ghana athletics. If we have time, we'll get into that. In Europe, well, Champions League week. Manchester City showed just why they are favourites for this year's Champions League title. Absolutely demolishing Manchester City by 3-0 in the first leg. Thomas Tuchel, not exactly the kind of start Bayern would have envisaged when they've hired him. 4 matches, 2 defeats, 2 wins. But no defeat is more painful than the one against Man City. And there's been quite a lot of fallouts from that defeat. Sadio Mane has been suspended from Bayern Munich, at least indefinitely. He will miss this weekend's Bundesliga. The reason is that he punched his teammate in the mouth in the dressing room after the defeat to Man City. Leroy Sané. Somebody said 2 Bambali boys. Apparently, Mane wasn't happy with the way Leroy Sané spoke to him on the pitch. So he took the frustration onto the dressing room and then punched his fellow Senegalese in the mouth. And then Leroy Sané was bleeding from the lip. The Bayern decided Mane's actions were not great. And then they've now suspended him. Alright, Chelsea were also in action against Real Madrid. That was yesterday. They lost by 2-0. Had a man sent off. Can they come back? There was Europa League action as well on Thursday. That was yesterday. Manchester United gave up a 2-0 lead to draw 2-2 with Sevilla. So there's a lot to talk about today on the show. And last week, a lot of you were telling us to talk about a bit more about Asante Kotoko and all the drama that's happening there. The people that want Nana Yamponsa out of the club. But really, do they have a case? Is there? Have we reached a point where it's untenable that Nana continues to stay at Kumasi Asante Kotoko? Must he leave immediately? Well, the man has done some really good work. That has to be highlighted. So that's on the menu today. We're running till 2:50 p.m. The show is live and interactive on social media. We are streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Joy FM handle. Joy 99.7 FM on Facebook, on YouTube as well is live. For those that prefer audio services, it's also streaming on Twitter Spaces at the Joy FM handle, Joy 99.7 FM. It's streaming there, and it's also on our handle Joy Sports GH. That's also streaming there on the Twitter Spaces. So do join us, and then your thoughts and messages are all welcome, of course, on the hashtag Gameplan on Twitter. The hashtag is Gameplan on Twitter. Also on WhatsApp, you can send me a message on 0551 11 11 997 0551 11 11 997 0551 055 11 11 997. I beg your pardon. It's 055 11 11 997. 055 11 11 997. Your thoughts on everything we'll be discussing here are absolutely welcome. All right, the guys are seated. And it's the usual gang, ladies and gentlemen. And I insist, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yo, man, yo.
Are you guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
We're buzzing.
Sitso is turned up here yet again, predictably, in a long skirt.
Today's color is
turquoise.
This turquoise, right?
This turquoise.
Yeah,
why?
yeah,
Hey. Cranston.
Yeah.
Where did you learn? Where did you learn this? Because
No.
No.
I think when we came here, I started searching for types of colors.
I was going to say the same because for this man to know this color now,
but is he right or wrong?
I think he's right now.
You think?
Aquaman?
I'm not sure he's right.
Aquaman.
I think he is.
Aquaman. Listening.
I think there was something I listened to, and they were talking about how they chose some of the colors for, and I remember they mentioned this color
Turquoise blue.
as turquoise blue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
give me fans.
Come on. In fact, today is what 14th. Okay, yeah. So, my big brother's wedding anniversary is around the corner, and it's his wedding.
Yeah.
They used turquoise blue,
And it was like this one.
and I looked
Some way, these are.
Yeah, some way.
So what about the color on the collar?
Some way of blue.
Are we streaming on video?
Yes.
On Facebook and YouTube,
I'm
right?
100% sure. Yes.
Yeah.
You see, the issue is that for some of us, if you are going to do your wedding and you send me a wedding invitation, and you say the colors are turquoise blue.
I'll just wear white.
We are putting you in trouble.
See, let me not use myself. If you send a wedding invitation to someone like Nabila and you say the color is turquoise blue, you know why he will come in? I'll come in smoke.
They do wedding. Go right there. Oh, that's the color.
Well, but on the more serious note, Nabila, how many colors can you identify?
Is he colorblind?
On the more serious.
No, he's
red,
not.
gold,
He-
relax.
Primary
On the more
co-
serious note.
Yes, primary colors.
Primary colors. When I went,
You're wearing a shirt.
Relax.
Okay.
And now you asked me a question, I can't answer. Then
All right, go on.
When I went to the school and they taught me, they were not teaching me colors.
You're wearing a
So
shirt
the
right
colors
now.
I know are the colors I know. I know red.
Mhm.
Black stuff in the color. I'm not sure say in the color.
Black is color. Yes.
How?
It's a color.
Hi, what?
Just go on. Black is a color. You said
Okay,
red.
so I know
Red. You know black.
I know blue.
Yes.
I know green.
You know green.
Yes. Now I know turquoise.
Nabila, I'm looking at your shirt right now.
Eh.
I'm sure when you saw hold on.
Hey, we are not doing answering questions session here.
No,
What's that?
let me finish. I'm
Yes.
sure when you saw the shirt, you said, I like this color. I
never
want
said-
it.
I never
Wait.
said that. I never said that, please. I never said that.
He's running away.
I never said that. I never said that. I know yellow. I've seen yellow.
Yeah.
Yes, I know yellow. The kind of colors, I know them.
No, your color appreciation is some way.
Maybe some way.
It be off now.
Seriously, some way.
It be off. Anyway, guys,
Charlie.
there's a lot to talk about today.
Right.
Of course, including Pardon My Take. Last week's Pardon My Take did not. It did not.
Is it because the insult she chopped? It
Yes.
is more insult.
I hold on now. Yes, my brother Kwekwa Hinkra came with
A thesis.
You know thesis. When I saw it, I was like, hey, Kweku.
yes, and took screenshot because that would require a full thread, and he didn't want to do a thread.
You wanted me to read it at once.
Yeah, so he went into notes, and even that one, there were 3 pictures of the screenshots, 3 different pages. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But that's exactly the kind of impact we want with Pardon My Take. It's not necessarily so you agree with that. And it's funny because 2 days ago, Kojo Adai Mensah, CEO of Data Bank, he reached out to me and he said he just watched the Pardon My Take and he agrees 100% with everything I said. And this is one of the biggest Liverpool fans we have in this country.
Yeah.
So please, we're going and grab brain yourself.
I won't be surprised if Kwame Banyako also agrees with you.
And
I won't be surprised.
and on Kwekwa Hinkra,
Yes.
I have he's been wanting me to respond to the whole Sadio Mane thing.
He's been taunting you.
He's been taunting me because obviously, I mean, at the time Sadio and Liverpool's issues came, some of us were very, very vocal. and screenshots of what we wrote were quoted by the English media saying that African journalists feel like Sadio is not being treated properly, and so what's happening with him at Bayern seems to be a sort of vindication of Liverpool. That it's not like we didn't treat Sadio Mane well, but
He's a bad boy.
he's a bad boy, and that the Bayern
They manage the
badness
in him.
in him. But the fact that he's gone to Bayern and he's experiencing these things is justification of the fact that it's not like Bayern loved him more than Liverpool did. But I'm sure we'll talk about the
We'll
issue.
get there.
And-
No, but I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
You see, since you started it, it really is something we need to talk about.
Yeah.
So let's just begin from there.
So if I may,
Yes. Like, I don't. What's going on? Because to be honest, he hasn't scored for Bayern since October.
Yeah.
He's been injured in that period,
Yes.
missed the World Cup. He's come back. He's not necessarily starting matches. Comes off the bench against Man City. He starts an argument, or I don't know if he started it, but an argument ensued between him and Leroy Sané. I'm not sure exactly what caused it. I'm presuming that pass it to me, I didn't pass it to you. It's probably what caused it. He goes into the dressing room. He's not pleased with exactly what Leroy Sané said to him on the pitch, but obviously he couldn't punch him in front of the cameras. So he goes into the dressing room.
Let's say, hey, I'll teach you a lesson here.
and that's the needful.
And then he punches him.
and that's the needful.
Yes. He punches him in the mouth. He starts bleeding.
I saw a Sky Sports video,
Yeah.
and Leroy Sané closed his mouth. So they said he was closing his mouth to avoid the cameras capturing that indeed he was punching.
That is smart of him. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
So the background
clearly-
issue, the background issue is that first of all, Sadio and Leroy are this close. This close.
Bambali boys.
Bambali boys, as you know. Leroy's father is Senegalese, former Senegalese
Yeah.
international. And Leroy and Sadio are that close.
Okay.
Now, what people don't know is that Leroy has a speech impediment.
Speech
That's-
impediment.
That's why he doesn't grant interviews.
I see.
Leroy and his big brother both have speech impediments. So he doesn't talk plenty.
Yeah.
And you see the people who don't talk plenty, when they remove one, they destroy everything. They destroy everything.
Now you can beat me, Kofa.
Now you can beat me. So that's the background. But Sadio, as you mentioned, because of the issues you mentioned, has been frustrated for a while.
Yeah.
Now, something that has gone under the radar because Nagelsmann was sacked is that Nagelsmann and Sadio had, and I'm sure you saw the report,
Yeah.
they had a small misunderstanding about twice before Nagelsmann was sacked and prematurely, as it were.
Yeah.
So Sadio has been a bit frustrated with the situation. Now, Bayern themselves have not been too pleased with Sadio for one thing. But Bayern feel like, as an institution, they invested in a Ferrari and they've got a Fiat. Oh, exactly. Now, Sadio was doing all these amazing things for Liverpool and Senegal. But, of course, the fact is that he had people who were helping him achieve those things. What Bayern signed and what they hoped they had signed was a kind of forward who could achieve certain things. Peel past players in the Bundesliga with reckless abandon, run past people and they can't catch him,
Yeah.
and so on. Score goals for fun. The injuries, of course, was not his fault. But the fact of the matter is that Sadio is not what he was 2 seasons ago. And that frustration is beginning to show on an institutional,
Even just a season ago.
yes, and the personal level. So if you watch, and Sitcho and I were talking about it before we came, Sitcho gives the example of their Classica, right? When Sadio was brought in against Dortmund as a sub, he was expected to go past the Dortmund players who, if anybody watches the Bundesliga, you would know, has one of the slowest defenses in the Bundesliga. Sadio Mane was unable to do that.
Yeah.
Whether it is because of his injury and the fact that he is not 200% as yet is another matter. But basically, that's what has been the feeling like at Bayern. They have managed it well until now. This morning, the Senegalese national team coach was interviewed about the matter because it's a big deal. I mean, anything.
It is a big deal.
It's a big
Suspension
deal.
is a big deal.
Yes, the coach Ali Cisse said, "Look, I have nothing to say,
This is
but
dressing room matter.
the fact that this is a dressing room matter, Anybody who has even played coach football knows that worse things happen in dressing rooms.
Oh yes.
In any team, there are internal issues.
Yeah.
That is
even,
why
even just in Doha, they were using bottles to throw each other just in Doha.
Right now,
their homes.
Yes,
There are issues in the office.
Exactly.
There are issues in the house.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's like that in the
so like you said, Sadio bottled it and waited till they got to the dressing room before he showed him something small. You understand? The bigger question is how the issue leaked from the dressing room. That's the problem.
Fantastic.
And at a big club like Bayern, the disappointment from Sadio's camp is that how does something like this get out of the dressing room? That's the bigger issue. The fact that he punched him.
I think doesn't it go without saying, because if you suspend him for the action, it goes without saying that everybody would know.
But one thing follow the other.
Yes, but I'm saying
It became
that
public knowledge.
Yes, but I'm saying
Yes.
are you suggesting that perhaps the pressure from the story breaking
Of course.
is what informed the
No,
decision?
but
Of course.
the other thing too is
Fentuo-
you can suspend him, but come up with a different narrative. Do you know the number of players
Plenty.
who have been said to be injured, but they are not injured? They've
But
been
not
suspended
injured.
or
Oh, yes.
banned
Oh,
from
yes.
the team.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
true.
It
So
happened.
Bayern can easily say Mane has had an injury setback. He picked up a knock when he came on against City, so he'll miss the game against Hoffenheim. We hope that he'll be ready for the return leg. Who knows he would have been banned? Who knows he would have been fined? Banning him now and fining him now on the back of what we know puts pressure not only on Mane, not only on Sané, but the entire buying team and the outlook.
Yes.
And even in fact, Bayern's statement clearly stated that he's been suspended because of misconduct.
Misconduct.
Yes. So and you see, let me take it back a few months.
Okay.
Before Nagelsmann left, there were issues of leak in the buying camp already.
So the rat is still there.
Before
It's
Nagelsmann
not
left,
this man's girlfriend.
it's true.
Yeah, she was the one who has been accused. Yeah.
For a huge club like Bayern, to have these issues, it happens everywhere.
Of course it does.
It happens and ex pros will tell you, even in our Black Stars team, if we start telling you some of the players who have fought in the dressing room,
in the dressing room.
if we start telling you some of the things our captain told the players after the Nicaragua game, I mean, but it's done. It stays there. You get it? For a club like Bayern Munich to have issues like this leak out of the team isn't good. And I remember when Nagelsmann complained about tactics being leaked. When Nagelsmann had his own issues with Müller and Neuer, and he came out, he was very disappointed. And now, minutes after Sadio and Sané happens, everybody knows about it.
The story
This
out
is
there.
Bayern Munich. This is Bayern Munich, and that is where
FC
my
Hollywood.
that is where my disappointment is.
But actually, mine also has similar issues under
Rafranik.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were similar issues under Rafranik.
Stories
You know-
were always leaking from the dressing room, and you're wondering
It's
where are
terrible.
these stories
It puts the
coming
team
from?
under pressure. But on Sadio Mane, I think
Why is it not working for him at Bayern? At least for now, we can conclude that so far it's not been the fairy tale transfer that it was probably built up to be.
Fentuo is a lot of things.
He's getting the money, all right.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, and I'll come to it. Now, Bayern's frustration, as Gary mentioned, the guy is the highest earner in Bayern Munich. He's earning reportedly 17 million euros a year. That for a Bayern Munich player is
No, that can't be a
huge.
year salary.
17
million.
Yes,
A year.
Yes,
That's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money. 17 million a year for Sadio Mane.
And Bayern don't spend like that.
No. But Tony Cruz left because they were going to give Thiago and Qatar a certain amount of money. They didn't give Cruz.
Bayern don't
And
do
Cruz
that.
said, "Okay, then take your club. I'm going to."
If
Real."
it's Schweinsteiger,
You know,
versus
now
Schweinsteiger.
here's the thing, Fent. Like I said last week after your splendid take, I said that, you see, we cannot forget that these footballers of Liverpool played an astronomical number of games, almost all of them at a very high level.
Yeah.
The last 11 games of the Premier League season last season were all final games. Every game was like a final which had a trophy because City were breathing down their necks. They played in all cup finals, and on every fixture they had on their calendar, they played. That thing includes Sadio Mane.
Okay.
And if you're watching a Liverpool team this season that has every one of those players who were integral last season struggling, Sadio Mane can't be an exception. So the burnout which has caught up with Van Dijk, Trent, Robo, Salah, Hendo, Fabinho, it's also caught up with Sadio. And the thing is,
So it doesn't matter where he is.
no. If you're tired, you're tired. But if you're in a car, you're tired. If you go to Kumasi, you'll be tired.
A shock.
So the thing also is, after the long, hectic season that Liverpool had, let's not forget, we had the shortest preseason in the history of football because of the World Cup.
True.
So the preseason was so short that players couldn't necessarily recoup. They had to go for preseason, another season starts. Then Sadio Mane goes to Bayern Munich, a different environment, a different club, and the manager who loves to try so many things. Today you're a false 9, tomorrow you're on the left, tomorrow you're a 10, tomorrow you're a right winger. Then Sadio
and emphasize the fact that he even came off a year where he went to the AFCON and won it.
Yes, and so he's been playing back to back.
Yeah.
Then
and qualified for the World Cup.
Sadio gets injured. And for a player who relies very much on his pace, you can't afford not to be sharp. You see, if you're Michael Carrick or Sergio Busquets, with the way they play with slow motion football, Odegaard, if you miss a yard of pace in your game or you're not at your sharpest,
it won't be so apparent.
Yes, but for a player like Sadio who relies so much on pace and power, to miss about 5 months of football or 4 months of football, it's surely going to take him some time to hit the level. The thing now is, he's not any younger. Sadio is what, 31, 32?
Yeah.
And that is why Liverpool had to make that decision. Because they couldn't have afforded to keep him on the wages he was at this age with a new contract, if they're going to sign that new contract, and also keep Mo Salah. So Liverpool had to look into the future. You get it? So Sadio's case is a matter of the reality from last season, the fatigue setting in a new environment, in a new club, where he's also had his own injury worries.
Daniel, is that a view you share?
Just a quick one from Thomas Tickle. Thomas Tickle says that I'm Sadio Mane's first lawyer. I've known him for many years. I know his surroundings. He is a top level professional. He made a mistake. He broke the code of conduct of the club and myself. He did apologize, and we have sorted the situation. I continue to count on him.
Finish.
Yeah.
Daniel.
I mean, I'm not surprised with that coming from Tico.
Champion guy.
Champion guy. Oh, yeah.
No, we will come to that.
No, forget. I didn't know they were this good.
You should behave yourself. But DK, it's for Sadio Mane, because you see, I don't understand why. For me, my other frustration is why some Liverpool fans are gloating over Mane's.
That's just pettiness.
Yeah, Mane's misfortunes. It's almost like, yeah, we were right to let him go. So now you see, because of one incident of misconduct, suddenly
but they
were right to let him go. But clearly, under Tuchel, he still has a big future. But how does he get himself how does he play his way back into the starting lineup and enjoying his football again? Because that Bayern team is stacked.
Yeah. Really? Look, and I'm going to draw a comparison with somebody like Koulibaly.
Yeah.
It's his style. I think if Mane modifies his style, he will have more years ahead of him.
You mean Kalidou?
And Kalidou Koulibaly also. They are very dependent on their pace and their power. Yeah. Their athleticism as footballers. And as you grow older, those attributes decline. So you need to stay relevant. And in order to stay relevant, you need to modify your game. For Sadio Mane, and as Sitsofe has said, it's not like he also went to a league that is a bit slower. The German Bundesliga is also fast-paced and the intensity is high. So, and I understand Bayern Munich, when they looked at the player at Liverpool, you expect that at least he can give you 2 seasons of that level before declining. But it's not just last season. Liverpool have been at least to a final of a cup competition for the last, I think, 3 or 4 seasons. They are always there, at least the last 4. Okay. And with the intensity of the Premier League title races over the past few years, it means that the last 10, 11 games of a season, as Sitsofe said, are finals. So, in as much as, yes, maybe Chelsea are also playing a game this weekend, Chelsea might be comfortably in 3rd position and can afford to rotate players. Liverpool or Manchester City don't have that luxury. Or even maybe Manchester City can do it because of their squad depth. But if you look at Liverpool, it was that front 3 playing almost every single game. And you see, it's always good to do a comparative analysis. You look at the injuries that have hit Bobby Firmino in the last couple of years.
Okay.
You look at Mohamed Salah and his form this season. Yes, he might be scoring the goals, but he's not as explosive as he was or as we've seen in the past couple of seasons. So it's affecting everybody. It's not just a Sadio Mane situation. So for me, look, the league he's gone to, I think he's a very smart player. We've seen different sides and different styles and different versions of Sadio Mane. I think he needs to try and modify his game a bit to be able to stay relevant. But if he still wants to go down that typical Sadio Mane that we know, that explosive style Sadio Mane, he's going to deliver in patches. He's not going to be consistent. As we are seeing it with N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante is N'Golo Kante. He can't do anything else apart from that high level pressing giddy style of football. And that means that you do well in 2 months, you get injured, you go back, you come back. That sort of football. You will not be that consistent player that a team can rely on you. So, and when you also consider the money that Bayern paid for, and the money they are paying him also, Bayern don't expect somebody to come in and play in patches. They expect somebody they can build their season around and be dependent on for the entirety of the season. So for Mane, it's about a personal decision for him to look at his game and try and modify it a bit. It's not every time that you have to be explosive, run around, press. And you see, that's one key thing that most people don't give credit to Messi and Ronaldo for. The Messi and Ronaldo you saw in 2006 were very different from the Messi and Ronaldo in 2010.
Absolutely.
Very different from 2015. Very different from present day. They've been able to modify their games as the years go by and still remain relevant and still remain at the top. And there's no shame in doing that.
That's why Messi's walking now.
That's why Messi's walking.
I mean, he's winning World Cup. And for me, one of the
World Cup by
walking.
yeah.
See,
No, I think-
you wouldn't. You see,
but
I think that Daniel, just
let Daniel make his point.
I just want to add an example to the point that he's making, and perhaps something that Sadio Mane can look to. Ryan Giggs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ryan Giggs is a
Several.
clear example.
Several.
Another example of somebody who failed to do that is Gareth Bale, Ian Robin. Players like that chose to. And I don't blame you. It's about how long you want to go. Yeah. If you are certain,
tried it, but his body gave up on him.
His body gave up on him because he was drinking too much. No, no, but it's true. It's true.
Don't do that.
But it's true. It's true.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So if Sadio Mane wants to stay relevant and continue at the highest level and at least repay Bayern for what they've done, he needs to take a personal decision. And it is not beyond him. He's a very intelligent footballer. I don't think he needs that pace and explosiveness to be able to stay relevant. His decision making has been top. His finishing is good. He's an intelligent player.
Most importantly, Danny, he does have the skill set to adapt.
Exactly.
It's not like he doesn't have it.
But I think his adaptation will be dependent on the manager and what the manager wants from him.
Oh yeah, that one should do it.
It's very important because
but see,
if you look at Sadio Mane in the last 5, 6, 7 years, the key attribute of Sadio Mane is his pace.
Yeah.
And at 30, 31, he does not have that pace anymore.
Yeah.
Would a manager allow Sadio Mane to walk about and still make impact in the game? Just like we started the example of Ryan Giggs and we saw from Lionel Messi during the World Cup. Even this gentleman, Mbappe, very young, but he was also walking during the World Cup.
No, Mbappe was clearly not walking.
So I think it is important that we look at Sadio Mane as a player who is declining in terms of his energy level on the pitch.
He's growing. Yeah.
If Thomas Tuchel needs Sadio Mane to provide him the results he's looking for, Thomas Tuchel must make sure that he gives him an opportunity not to burn out just as the way he was doing for Liverpool.
Yeah.
If he burns out often, then the fans will continue to get very disappointed in the performance of the player week in and out.
Yeah.
And that is the only way he can stay in there, fit in, and give them the results. Other than that, Sadio Mane at Bayern Munich is going to be a big problem.
I think unless Bayern are going into the market to buy a proper centre for next season, Sadio is still their best goal scorer. He's a better goal scorer than Sane, than Nabri.
Is he better than Nabri though? Because Nabri is a machine when it comes to goal scoring.
No, I think Mane scores.
In fact, the last he's been Bayern's top goal scorer. I think that each of the last 3 seasons.
No, that's Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
Yes,
Lewandowski.
He scores. No, Nabri scores. But Mane is a better goal scorer.
Apart from Lewandowski. Yeah,
Mane is a better goal scorer.
You see, Nabri is not your go-to goal scorer.
Yes, but Mane
scores a lot.
Mane is a better goal scorer than every attacking player, but maybe Müller.
Yeah.
But maybe Müller.
Yeah.
But he's a better goal scorer than all the attacking players, so he's got a place in the side. And Tuchel is intelligent enough to know how to use a fit side.
That's fair.
I do have to do something. I want
go on.
So, with all this, there's something that I've been saying, and I even said it's I said it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and last year. You see, this argument that we are loading the footballers with more and more matches.
Yeah, I recall
We did
that.
say that, we said 3-4 years ago, that now it will start catching up with them.
To be fair, Klopp was the biggest ambassador of that.
Thing.
Yeah.
And we kept saying that this loading, especially of the elite players, it will catch up with them.
Yeah.
So you have the outlier like Messi, who, because of his sheer stature, influence, and clout, he can tell a coach that this is what is happening to my body, and so please change for me, and he'll be allowed to do it. You get it? Ronaldo, because of his sheer force of will, you understand? We saw a bit of it at
If you
Man
hadn't
United.
mentioned Ronaldo, somebody would have punched you.
Yeah.
But let's go on.
You see, sheer force of will. And you will start hearing from Al Nasser that the reason why the coach left the club by mutual consent is that before Zero came, they were playing a certain way which enabled them to be 3 points ahead of the second place team before Cristiano came. Now they are 3 points behind.
After Cristiano
Came.
I mean, the coach is not serious.
No. The coach is not serious. No, you see, I don't want to go there. But
Cristiano is holding the team back.
you see,
But
for those who
Take it back.
No, but that's the truth. He was holding Man U back.
I don't want to. But you see, they are bending. Ronaldo and Messi will bend your team to
their will.
their will. Players like maybe Sadio Mane are a step or two. They don't reach that kind of power and sense.
Yeah.
So they can't move. Bayern Munich, yeah, you can't do that in Germany.
Bayern Munich is a different institution on its own.
Now, which brings me to the point of those who were or are angry or are saying we should apologize for.
Yes, you're talking the Liverpool petty party.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The Liverpool petty party.
Yes.
You know, who are saying that why we're African
crying
journalists-
this team.
Yeah. You know, and I said this in the Asante Kotoko case 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that two things can be true. We live in a world right now where everything has to be black or white.
Yeah.
You are either 0 or 1.
Yeah.
It's binary. People don't make room for the shades of gray.
No nuance.
So there's no nuance. So here is what I'm saying. It can be true that Liverpool, because of the legitimate reasons Sitcho gave, that they are looking at the player's age, they are looking at his body, they are looking into the future, and they are deciding that giving this person this amount of money does not make sense for our club. And guess what? Haven't we been vindicated by what is happening at Liverpool now? With the fact that John Henry does not want to spend on the team, the entire infrastructure does not want to spend on the team. So it was in keeping with the club ethos at the time that they let Sadio Mane go.
Right.
So that can be true. It is not false that we were saying that Liverpool should have treated him better. One, that is true. Two, it can also be true that Bayern Munich, after buying Sadio Mane, are experiencing
what Liverpool experienced and allowed him to live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So to people like my good friend Kwekwa Ingra and stuff, it is not one or the other. You see, life is complex.
Yeah.
Life is complex. So yes, it is true that I stand by what I was saying, that I think that for a player of his worth, he should have been shown a lot more commitment by Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And now Sadio is in a pickle. It does not mean that, so we told you that Sadio is a bad. No, there is no evidence anywhere.
And the other thing too is that yes, they chose to keep Mohamed Salah, which I agree they should because he's a better player than Sadio in my opinion.
Of course.
But Mohamed Salah, since extending his contract, hasn't been the same player that he used to be.
No.
And the same effects that are catching up with Sadio has caught up with
And
Mo
to be
as
fair,
well.
which Liverpool player has been the same player since Mane left?
That is all we are saying. That you
So,
see,
it's
all
not like,
these things
it's not a money problem.
all these things fall into the
Anyway.
pot.
Yeah.
That look, when we are making arguments, two things can be true.
Yeah.
It's not like Ghana, NDC,
white,
MPP,
yeah. No.
black or white.
Yeah.
You are male or female. Hey, sorry.
Gary, don't go.
That was true.
Gary, don't go there. Anyway, so I'm interested in your thoughts as well, because there's quite a lot of people who are listening to us on the space, watching us on Facebook, and also listening to us from their radio sets in their cars or wherever it is that you're listening to us. Why do you think Sadio Mane is struggling at Bayern Munich? And are you one of those that thinks that he should not have left Liverpool? Because some Liverpool fans want us to believe that he's struggling because he's left Liverpool and that he should not have left. I don't know about you or what you think. 055 11 11 997. That's the WhatsApp number. Also, leave me a message on Twitter. Use the hashtag Gameplan. And since we're on the Bayern Munich topic, we'll go into the Champions League game, of course, and then we zero from global to local. That's the only thing that makes sense, considering where we started. So we will get into the Champions League and that Manchester City versus Bayern Munich game, since we are on that topic. But let me tell you about Duraplast. For over 50 years, they have been your reliable partner for quality plastic products such as PVC and HDPE PE pipes of various sizes. And they have, over the years, progressed to become a leader in the plastic industry in West Africa and part of Central Africa. Yes, where you live matters. Where and how you store your water also matters. So how do you check your level of water in your water storage tank at home or at the workplace? Do you just hit the side and listen? Or do you climb all the way to the top to look inside it? You can fall inside though. It's not good for you.
That's Muftawu.
Has he fallen inside before?
No.
And he can't swim too.
You see, on a more serious note.
It's not true.
No.
You said it.
Just take a look at Daniel and I.
What's the problem?
If we are climbing a water tank,
Who fall inside?
which of us will fall inside?
Daniel, sit down. We'll organize a water tank climbing competition.
Please.
We'll call our
ourselves
sponsors to organize
Yes,
that.
yes.
for us.
Yeah.
Please,
2.2 seconds.
there should be proper wind blowing.
We'll get Duraplast to do it.
We need
But
a water tank.
So yeah,
Why should
exactly.
we do it in the car park?
Yes.
In the car park.
Duraplast will bring a water
Yeah,
tank
water
because water tank is the ultimate tank for water storage.
Thank you.
By Duraplast Limited, and it comes with an optional water level indicator that lets you know exactly how much water you have in your water tank. It's not only beautiful, but it's also designed to carry accurate volumes of water. So if it's 5,000 liters, it means what? 5,000 liters. And of course, it's very doable and available in various sizes. Get yourself a water tank today from Duraplast Water Tank. What a tank. Remember, where Duraplast goes, water flows. Also, how many of you can sing in this building? Nabila, you can't sing, obviously.
I can. I have a.
What's your favorite song?
I have an acorn voice.
Hey!
Tell this guy, we must sack you from this show one of these days. What is this?
No, me. I can sing well.
Okay, give me 2 lines.
2 lines
Just
from
2.
Acorn.
Yeah, it's 2 lines. Which of his songs do you know?
As life goes on, I'm starting to learn more and more about responsibility.
Are you
I realize that.
Wait. You
No,
know,
let him
finish.
Wait, let him finish.
Let him finish.
Because as it starts, I have no idea where he's going.
Okay.
So
As life goes on,
No.
I'm starting to learn more and more
Wait,
about
wait,
Go on. We have to make
responsibility.
this talk
yeah,
about.
wait.
You're going to get him to sing.
No, I said he should sing and he's talking, so let him talk.
Charlie.
Wait. Nabila,
What is Sitsofe
the
trying
life
to
goes on. I learn about responsibilities. Were you reciting a poem or you were singing?
No, I am building up. You see, you have to start low.
Charlie, behave
Go.
yourself.
The
Behave yourself.
crescendo
Go
is
on.
required for you to
Okay,
fly.
yes, okay. We are waiting for the crescendo. Go on.
Okay, as life goes on, I'm starting to learn more and more about responsibility. I realize everything I do is affecting the people around me. So I've started to take out the responsibility, and we continue.
Was that
So-
singing though?
No, yeah. So no, we have reached.
Wait,
we-
the lyrics.
he said
now.
now we continue, so we are waiting.
So why are you all interjecting?
no, it's
So
okay.
I'm not going to sing again. I'm up.
we beg. Now you continue.
We beg.
Go on.
You beg.
Yeah, we beg.
Me, I could go on sing village song. Oh.
Please stop digressing. Now we beg.
You beg. You
now,
sing any
now
song.
finish. We are quiet.
Okay, now let me do Celine Dion.
Charlie. This guy is a sinner. He's a sinner. Repent.
I can't believe this.
How many days of Ramadan do you have left? How
The
many days?
Acorn, he hasn't sang it. Now he's going to Celine Dion.
Yes.
How many days of Ramadan do you have left? No.
Oh,
We have to.
6,
By the end
7
of
days.
today will be day 23.
23,
So
so
it
we have
will
6,
be
7
11
days more to
7
go.
days.
7 days. All right.
We'll conclude next Friday. inshallah.
No, why this question? You want to say I will not make it to heaven?
You will make it to heaven. I want
Alright.
to defend you and say that it's the
I ask,
Ramadan that's
you
affecting
see,
you.
I ask about the sing because on this desk only one person is a certified singer.
Oh, Charlie!
No.
Really? Bright like a diamond.
Give me one bet, man.
I can read
Give me one bet, man. Give me one bet, man. Give me one bet, man.
No, Charlie. No, as for it.
No.
As for it.
You see,
As for it.
no, The patience you people had to listen to me. You didn't give that to him.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yes.
Shine bright like a diamond.
That's right.
But why is your eyes?
Shine bright, the beautiful sea. I choose to be
It's okay. No, we must climb the water tank.
Please. Anyway, I ask because cues and lyrics is now on Joy Prime. So just let's reimagine entertainment with cues and lyrics. Okay, the stage is set and ready to blast with Ghana's latest music reality show, Cues and Lyrics. It's a music competition show that aims to provide the ultimate entertainment to Joy Prime's cherished viewers whilst offering the biggest platform to unearth music potential in contestants. 12 budding musicians have survived the auditions and are ready to journey to stardom. Make an appointment on Joy Prime as we adore the contestants for the maiden edition of Cues and Lyrics on Sunday, April 16 at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be nothing short of exciting. Cues and Lyrics, bring on the music. Produced by Joy Prime, your ultimate experience, and is powered by Hits FM. You know, that's where the kid knows about my rap line. You know, my famous rap line. All right. Yeah. So when I go on this show, one of these days I make an attempt. Yeah. Bars on bars.
Bars on bars.
Yeah.
But when Daniel was singing, he was closing his eyes. I don't know if the lyrics were coming from the eyes or the mouth.
Yeah, no. This is just for the show. The name is Fentuo, but you can call me Mr. Fenceman. That's the UO.
Hey, go. If you say the car bill.
Why is Mishako staring at me like that? He's not impressed or what?
If you say what?
Anyway.
If the guy self-shock.
Yeah, don't mind him. Don't mind that guy. But Pentecost Hour is here. Sitso's favorite program.
Yeah.
A religious broadcast sponsored by the Church of Pentecost. It comes your way with the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, on Joy 99.7 FM at 1:30 p.m. every Sunday. Tune in as Apostle Nyamiche brings you life transforming truth that nourishes the soul, ignites passion, and restores hope in the nations. The Church of Pentecost, we are possessing the nations for the Lord. All right, 055 1111 055 1111 997. That's the WhatsApp number. All right, let's talk about Champions League football. Bayern Munich were humiliated by Man City, 3-0. There are people that still say that tie is far from over, and that Tuchel has shown that he has a certain potential to pull off a comeback. He threatened it last season with Chelsea at Real Madrid, and you know, this I will start with Daniel, because you see, when I watched the Champions League game, Sitso, I swear, okay, it was like the two teams were operating at like an extraterrestrial level, the same level, but the level was like
it's gone. Up the notch.
My brother, like
you want to say there's coaching with a small C and then there's capital C coaching.
Yes. Yeah. There is coaching and there is training. There are coaches and there are trainers.
Charlie.
And there are trainer scouts. But on a more serious note, that was one of the best football match, especially in those opening half an hour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was the best football game of first 30 minutes of any football match I've ever seen. The sheer tactical manipulations by two managers, the level at which the two teams operated, it was incredible to watch. And you can just tell that this is elite football. But at the end of the day, the scoreline, it didn't make it seem like the match was close at all. Mm-hmm. And right now, Man City, clearly everybody's favorite to go through. How did they do it against Bayern Munich? Because Tuchel was supposed to be this guy that had the antidote to Pep Guardiola. And now after the match, everybody was saying, Chelsea made this guy. This guy is just hype. And
it's not everybody who was saying, it's Chelsea fans who were saying it.
No, you sat here and said, with Tuchel around, Man City is out of the Champions League.
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
Nabila, you are not listening. You just interrupted. You don't know what we were talking.
He just likes me. So when he hears my voice, he has to say something.
Anyway, so let's talk about the game. At the end of the day, of course, 3 brilliant goals, 45th goal of the season from Haaland. It's just ridiculous. I don't want to talk about that. It's just like, it makes no sense. But how did Pep do this? Because in the end, it didn't look like it was close at all. It was a very convincing victory.
The scoreline.
The scoreline, yes.
Yes.
That's why I said it didn't look like it was close. But it was close.
Look, it was a very interesting game of football. I think the first 60 minutes, both teams cancelled each other out. And we were watching the game together, Gary, and like Chaiman, then my head was aching. I couldn't understand what was happening. So I had to study Man City for like 15, 20 minutes and then switch to see what Bayern Munich was doing. You couldn't understand what both teams were doing at the same time. It was elite. And for Pep Guardiola, I think for Manchester City, it was just a quality that was on show. Because if you look at the goal they scored in Rodri's goal, it was literally out of nothing. When you break it down tactically, Bayern Munich had literally covered all angles. If you look at Kimmich's initial reaction, he closed the space for Rodri to use his right foot, forcing Rodri to his left. But still, Rodri showed the technique to get the ball behind in the back of the net. So it was not something that you can sit and blame this player or this player. Even if you pause the frame and you look at the runs that were being made, Haaland was making a move, but there was a Bayern player that had his eye on him. So it was a goal that it was just pure quality from Rodri.
Tuchel did contend though that it didn't make sense that the holding midfielder would be taking shots from the edge of his box while his players were looking.
Exactly. You see, I can understand the Bayern players, but I think Tuchel is also sort of, how do I put it, it's reactionary analysis. Because if Kevin De Bruyne has the ball in that range, you certainly close him down with more intensity. If Rodri has the ball, how many times does Rodri have the ball? How many times has Rodri go for shots around that? Exactly. And if you look at the players who were in and around him, 9 times out of 10, Rodri is going to look for a Kevin De Bruyne. He's going to look for a Grealish, a Haaland, instead of taking that shot. So the defensive players will have their mind set on those guys and just make sure that Rodri's right foot, which is his favorite foot, will not have a good angle at goal. And they did that. The only thing is that he switched it on to his left, and Rodri was brilliant with that finish. He will score any goalkeeper in this world. And then the game continues to be balanced, and then Upamecano happens. And that Upamecano moment, that is not Tuchel's fault. That is just a player who has switched off. And unfortunately for his team, you see, they were in an offensive phase. They were trying to build from the back. So their positioning wasn't necessarily, they were not there to stop a transition, a quick transition. They were all sort of progressing. Upamecano misses it, and now everybody is trying to react to the situation. And then it's 2-0. And from then, it was, you could just tell the Bayern players switched off. From then, Manchester City just up the level, and they ran away with the game. It's very disappointing from a Bayern Munich point of view in terms of the individual mistakes that caused this. Because had Upamecano not made that mistake, you could see Bayern coming into the game. In the second half, Ederson made a brilliant save. It could easily have been, I think it was Gnabry who took that shot. It was Sané who took that shot. It could easily have been 1-1. Ederson made that save. And you could just tell that it was, show me something small, let me show you something small. It wasn't, nobody was clearly dominating the game, and you could say that this game was going to end 3-0. It was that Upamecano mistake that basically opened it up. And from a Bayern point of view, they were a bit disappointing not to hold their line and at least keep it at 2-0. And they ran away 3. But look, Charlie, for those saying that there's a chance at the Allianz Arena, seriously, it looks very slim. It is not Pep Guardiola who threw away a 3-goal lead. If you want to have a chance when Pep is coming to town, then at least do your job in the first leg. You don't take a 3-0 deficit to the Allianz Arena. You see, the reason why I'm saying is that now the Bayern Munich approach in the second leg is very predictable. Not the tactics, not the formation, but the approach. They will be all out attack because you have to get those 3 goals, and you have to.
They need to go inside the first 10 minutes.
You need it. So you will come out and there will be spaces. And the thing is that you can't see Bayern Munich scoring a goal at the Allianz with that sort of approach, and Manchester City not punishing them with the spaces that they leave in behind. So it's either it's going to be a very high scoring game. Maybe Bayern Munich will nick it 3-2 or something. But Manchester City will definitely score once Bayern Munich are going to open up and try and get a goal. And it leaves a very, very difficult situation and scenario for Bayern to get out of this one. I just feel they blew it. The 3-0 was just...
Yeah, and that's where my issue is, because I've seen, and I'm sure, Sitcho, you saw that as well. Right. Following the result, there were quite a lot of people that started to question Tuchel already. That he's only been in charge for 4 matches, and he's been kicked out of the Pokal already, on the verge of Champions League elimination. And there was somebody that was bold. I got a call 2 days ago from someone that I respect a lot, who was bold enough to say that he thinks Bayern have made a massive mistake by bringing in Tuchel. I'm thinking it's only been 4 matches in, but there are concerns there. When you go and you lose 3-0 with this Bayern team that had won 8 consecutive matches in the Champions League, beating Barcelona and obviously PSG along the way, that's credit to Nagelsmann. And now people think perhaps even he would not have lost by 3-0. What was it about that game that gave it away, really?
Okay, so I think, and as you said, this game was, the coaching was so, I think the closest game or the game at the same level of this game has got to be Man City and Liverpool in the first leg where Mohamed Salah beat Cancelo to win. That game was a very good game as well between the two coaches. Yeah. This game sits right up there, if not slightly better. Now, the coaching of these two sides was so good that it was impossible to actually separate them, but for brilliant individual quality from Rodri. And Danny has gone through all of that, so I won't go through it. I thought it was just a special moment. And the way the game was going, we all knew it was going to take something special to make it happen. But few things were missing for Bayern. And Tuchel, in an attempt to react to what Pep had done, which I'll explain.
Okay.
He just maybe used the wrong player to react to what Pep had done. So, in seeing the game, and I think Pep is brilliant. He's intelligent. He's arrogant.
He's a genius.
He's everything, right? Because when you play against Bayern Munich, one of the things that they've got in attack is massive pace in Kingsley Coman, Gnabry, and then Sane. You also have got Musiala and Alphonso Davies who can join with blistering pace.
Yeah.
What we've seen Pep do this season with John Stones, at least in the last 1 month, is to play him as an inverted fullback. Now, the essence of inverting a fullback into midfield is to make a diagonal move into midfield. Now, if you picture what a diagonal line looks like, he's not going to run straight down the line as a right back. He's going to run diagonally, cut his line into midfield. And when City are defending, he'll cut his line back diagonally again into right back. What Pep did against Bayern was different. He actually played, when City had the ball, they played a 3-back in Akanji, in Diaz and Ake. John Stones would join Rodri in midfield. But when City lost the ball, John Stones didn't revert to be a right back. He actually retreated to be a centre back. The reason is Akanji stayed as a right back. Yeah. The reason is simple. If you are moving diagonally, if you've played football before, if you are moving diagonally, the movement is more difficult than when you are taking steps back or steps forward. So John Stones has to only take steps back, right? Take steps back in a vertical line. Then he's back to centre back. Then he's back into forward line. Then Akanji takes a horizontal line, which is still straight, not diagonal.
True.
So Akanji, when City have the ball, goes close to Diaz to form the 3-back. John Stones pushes into midfield. When City lose the ball, Akanji just opens up and frees up the space for John Stones to just take those steps back. Now, that is paying attention to details for any managerial level. For Pep to not invert Stones, which could have been dangerous, because think about it. If Sane has the ball and now Stones has to revert from centre back
recovery time
to come and take care of Sane, he's done. The other thing
he's going to lose significant seconds.
Yes, and Alphonso Davies is going to be on that side as well. The other thing too is Akanji is a better one-on-one defender than Stones.
True.
Ake's duty was not to overlap. Leave that to Grealish and the front four. They will do it. Stay there and keep an eye on Kingsley Coman. Pep Guardiola's side.
And he did brilliantly.
He was massive one-on-one.
Yeah.
So that was Pep respecting Bayern's threats in attack and then deploying something that we've not seen him do this season. Because John Stones was playing an advancing centre-back when he was moving into midfield, or a retreating DM when he was moving into centre-back. And that was very smart. And Akanji, in other terms, was doing the right
John
side.
Beckenbauer.
Charlie Samuel.
John Beckenbauer.
And now, did you notice, of all the players, especially in the first half, Pep coached John Stones one-on-one every single second of the first half.
You see, Gary, the boy, you know that thing. And the
No,
reason why
he was coaching the ball, you stay, come, go.
Yeah.
And the reason why he had to do that was because this thing that John Stones was doing, it's never happened in football
new
before.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. Like, it's either the money they invest, they are used to it. But Akanji and John Stones' understanding to be able to vacate spaces for each other, depending upon the scenario, was perfect. The other thing is, Pep was pressing with Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland, the front two, Onopamecano and De Ligt. Then Pep changed it. Pep actually moved Bernardo Silva to do that pressing because what? he works harder. He's a better presser with his energy. So he kept Kevin De Bruyne close into midfield. Bayern then started having some control in the middle of the park at the start of the second half. Because Gnabry dropped deeper. Kingsley Coman was very mobile. Sane got the freedom that he pushed Musiala wide and kept Sane as a free role. And Sane was enjoying himself. Then Pep reacted by dropping Kevin De Bruyne and keeping Bernardo Silva to start the press, which worked because Bernardo is able to cut a lot of passing angles from the delete side. Delete's a better passer than Upamecano. So the ball started moving to Upamecano. Now, when the ball started getting to Upamecano,
you've seen the ball.
No, when they started giving the ball to Upamecano, instead of Grealish to stay wide, like he was staying wide with Bernardo Silva in the first half,
he was pushing inside.
He moved from wide and started playing narrow.
Yeah.
Then Pep realized that no, Tuchel reacted by moving Alphonso Davies and then Pavard high, so that it is easy for Sommer and Delete to go to the long balls to Davies and Pavard. So they will not use Upamecano anymore. So Pep did something. Kevin De Bruyne got injured and went off, and that was a blessing in disguise at some point because Alvarez came to take up the role of Bernardo Silva in the front two press with Haaland,
and that guy is incessant.
So Bernardo Silva now started doing the job on Alphonso Davies, and now Grealish, who had been moved narrow, now started moving outward a bit to cut the lane between Upamecano and Pavard, or Sommer and Pavard. Then Tuchel also reacted, and that Tuchel reaction was what gave the game away. Not his fault, but personnel. Tuchel, realizing that City now were blocking the passing lanes, moved Kimmich from the DM row to go and sit between Delete and Upamecano, so that he can, because he's a better passer than them, so that he can start the build-up.
Deep line playmaker.
Yes. So as soon as he did that, it became a back three in build-up phase. Pavard and Alphonso Davies would move higher. Kimmich goes to sit in between Delete and Upamecano, which forces Upamecano, who is the least comfortable player on the ball, a bit wide because he's now playing on the right-hand side of the back three. Now Haaland and Alvarez targets your man, Kimmich. There's no passing angle to him. And now it's Upamecano
who is free,
who gives the ball to Upamecano.
And they knew what they were doing.
They gave the ball to Upamecano. Grealish also, who has not gone very wide, has not gone very narrow, is cutting the passing lane between Pavard and Upamecano. But Pavard does a mistake. Instead of Pavard to stay very, very wide on the line, so that the angle is too big for Grealish to cover, Pavard starts moving inward, which closes the passing lane for Upamecano.
Hence the second goal.
Then Upamecano makes the mistake. The second goal happens. Bayern panic. Third goal happens. Straight away, City are running away with it. So Tuchel, reacting to what Pep did, gave the game away in the sense that City targeted the weakest link in the setup. In Kimmich coming into centre back, he pushed Upamecano out. Grealish has improved with his understanding of pressing and cutting passing lanes. And Pep Guardiola's coaching, Charlie, some way.
Do you recall Thierry Henry?
Okay, baby, I didn't put this across. I liked it, but that is what pushed Upamecano into an uncomfortable space. So it's not Tuchel's fault. No, Kimmich was the right person to come and build up from the back.
Yeah, but Upamecano was already struggling before Kimmich was dropped.
Yes.
Kimmich was dropped to sort of try and help him.
Yes.
But even when he was dropped, City still targeted.
Yes.
So it's not, you see, it's not like the player could have been saved anymore.
So maybe you should have taken him off.
So you see this thing that you people are talking about. I'm just thinking. Do you think Monsieur Porter understands?
Who? Graham. Oh, far better. no, Graham. You know the ball.
No, you get sense. It's the other guy who knows this.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah.
That's something that I.
Gary.
Rodri said something in the post-match.
Okay.
Which gives an idea that this was planned from the start.
Right.
Pep apparently hearkened to the Inter Milan display against Barcelona for inspiration. The legendary one by
Jose.
Yes. He told the team that in this game they were going to suffer.
Yeah.
Which
they did.
Showed in the possession. 44%.
Yeah.
It's the lowest.
The first time ever Man City have possessed that low in the game and still won.
It's the first time I've seen City defend with 9 men.
In fact, it is the lowest possession for a winning team at this level in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Changing approach.
Now, at a point, they were playing 6-2-2. At a point, they were playing a 6-2-2.
Yeah.
I can't bore you with details because these two gentlemen have gone into how the 6-2-2 work. But for me, what excites me, and I tweeted that this is one of the best, if not the best, Pep display I have seen with him at City. because in 2020, he said after the game when they lost against Lyon, he said one day we will close the gap. We said here when we read the starting lineup, Danny and myself, before George and Josh came on the commentary, that this thing, two things. If Pep loses, they will say he's overthinking. But you see, it is that overthinking that there's something you said about Pep. There's something you said in your submission. The arrogance and you said he's the what?
He's a genius.
No, Pep, by some distance. I don't think there's any coach who has affected his generation of coaching
No.
as much as Mr. Guardiola.
He's too intelligent.
And Malika is disciples. Xavi is winning La Liga. Vincent Company has won championship. Arteta is about to.
Anyway,
They say the how good you are or how much of a good father you are is when they look at your children. And that's what they are saying.
His children are good.
His children. Which other coach's children has you understand is doing or has done what he has done?
It's true. You see, and for me, I think massive credit to Pep Guardiola. I think too easy, too often, too many people take credit away from him and call him a checkbook coach, and I feel very offended.
That's because he's really good.
You know, you see, and I honestly, and I feel very offended on his behalf. It's like taking credit from it. There are coaches that have been giving a lot of players with a lot of money, and they haven't exactly done that. But which coach in the history of coaching has won without money?
No,
you know, and one day it's impossible. And one day we'll do this thing on Pardon My Take. Say Alex Ferguson, he would not have won all the trophies.
Slow down.
But it's true.
No, it's true.
In fact, Alex Ferguson, I think, is the most overrated European manager.
Oh wow! This is a Pardon My Take we have to hear one day.
He has been excessively overrated. How many years? 27 incredible years at Manchester United. 2 European titles.
You see, let's mark
the reason for that.
Thanks, guys.
If someone
also,
said
he was a proper local specialist.
Yes.
Instead of competing in Europe. So when they say he's one of the best managers in Europe, I wonder why they put him in that pedestal.
Wow.
If someone sends a message now,
yes,
and it's unpleasant to you, I'll read it.
Please read it.
You see, but let's mark this down. This is a Pardon My Take that I would like to hear. Because when people have said this thing about Sir Alex Ferguson, the reaction from most of us is not to even listen to them. Because, I mean, he's done wicked things. So maybe mark it down. Maybe someday.
Maybe it will become one of the major topics we will have to talk about.
Yes, and Alex Ferguson, I've been through this before, and that's why when he's speaking, I'm watching him. Everybody who says this has a point, but you need to go back to the background of what Manchester United was or wanted.
Yes,
when he came to the club, his assignment was very different. And when we get to that topic one day,
the assignment was very different.
But now I have to,
but they were competing in Europe. They competed in Europe against some of the best teams in Europe. The so-called Manchester United, which was great.
You know, anyway, you see, no, I agree with Gary. We will have to get into this another day because otherwise we won't have enough time.
Drink water.
But what we will do is take a very, very short break. When we come back, we'll delve into the other Champions League game at the Bernabeu on Wednesday, and then we will touch on a very important issue that I didn't even state in my introduction, but it's really important. That's what has made the headlines in the last few days. Stephen Appiah's comments about ex-professionals getting involved in football administration. A current football administrator didn't take it lightly and basically attacked him, if I'm not mistaken. He's come out to say that his comments were misconstrued. But I don't believe that, because when I listened to the interview and you go to the extent of calling him frustrated because he didn't invest well, that cannot be misconstrued by anybody. You know, but there are merits to what he's saying, and we'll try and look at that as well. Here, this is Game Plan on 99.7 Joe FM. I'm here with Sitsofe, Daniel, Gary, Muftawu, Nabila, and Fentuo, Tahiru. I'll take lots of your messages that have coming on the hashtag Game Plan on Twitter. Lots of you have sent in messages on the WhatsApp number as well, which is 055 11 11 997. Those of you listening to us on Twitter Spaces or watching on Facebook Live, YouTube, do stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Joy 99.7 FM.
The stage is set and ready to blast with Ghana's latest music reality show. 12 budding musicians have survived the auditions and are ready to journey to stardom.
I have fears, you have fears too. Don't you cry, change is here. My baby bust up the silent door. When I come home, everything will be alright.
Make an appointment on Joy Prime.
Charlie, you've worked on it today, you spelled it. I think you have something that you really need to work on it.
Cue some lyrics on Sunday, April 16, 2023 at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be nothing short of exciting. Produced by Joy Prime, your ultimate experience, and powered by Hits FM. Cue some lyrics, bring on the music.
Let's live it up and party and have cracking good fun. When it comes to edutainment, here's TV's number one.
Is everybody ready to go?
We've got the zaniest characters to transport you away. The party is cracking, so why not come play? You're gonna love it. We've got so many channels and a ton of new shows, like Disney and Nickelodeon, where anything goes. So party with Yes TV. We bring the fun. You know we're number one.
Yes, it's Nasco Small Appliances Flash Sales Promo. You stay in or get outside. Happy times with your family, picnics, and more. Get go with the iconic Nasco Small Appliances. Your Nasco Kettle, 99 Ghana cedis. Blenders, 279. Nasco Coffee Maker is going for 139 Ghana cedis. Portable Dry Iron, 99 Ghana. Portable Water Boiler, 129 Ghana cedis. Standing Fan, 299. High Quality Popcorn Maker, 259 Ghana cedis. You can take these anywhere as a joyous festive season awaits Ramadan and Easter. Blenders Sandwich Maker. Yes, it is love from Nasco. And for those who want to stay indoors this season, go for your Nasco TV, AC, fridges, washing machines, and more. The iconic Nasco Small Appliances will take you everywhere.
Call 024-243-9437.
Score HD, the new exciting football channel, is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kufichre in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and DFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional, see Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, as well as daily sports news every other hour. Also, get updated on Messi and Mbappe on PSG TV and many more. Feely on HD Plus channel 151. Agronaede, HD Plus, the Feely experience.
Welcome back to the show. This is Gameplan on 99.7 Joy FM. My name is Fentuo, Tahiru. We are going all the way to 2:50 p.m. So we have roughly about 23 minutes to wrap up here. We'll still do one more Champions League game and then we'll come local and talk about a very important topic, football administration, how to get our ex-players involved in our football administration. But lots of you have been sending in messages on the things we've been discussing, most notably Sadio Mane and the Champions League game between Bayern Munich and Manchester City. And I've got some messages here. This one says, hi, Tahiru, you guys should apologize for unfairly criticizing Klopp. Liverpool's problem is not Klopp. However, the players have worn out and are very tired simply because almost every season they are very competitive. That's from Raul. He sent in that message. You can send in yours as well, 055 11 11 997. This one says, Okay, it says, I'm enjoying your show. Please ask the show which fullback, past or present, can handle Vinicius Junior, Stanley in Achimota. I say Reece James.
You want us to bring a Tuesday, Wednesday player to play Thursday night football?
Please, my fans say it is Wan-Bissaka because Trent no fit. Reece James no fit.
Reece James fit.
Oh, but no, he didn't.
That was
yes.
But that was on Wednesday.
No.
Yes. How many times have they played against?
No, we are talking about recent.
Recent. How many times have they played against each other? 5 times now.
No, but I'm saying
only once.
On Wednesday.
Stanley should hear something. We cannot bring Tuesday, Wednesday night player to come and play against Thursday night player. You know they work like that.
Nabila,
it's okay.
Thank you.
And that's what my fans have said me in some way.
And this one says, hi Fentuo, I'm Starboy from La Paz. We still believe in Tuchel to do the turnaround in Munich. Trust me. All right. Thank you for that. This one says it's about time. Man City starts getting some respect, you know. All these other teams are still living on past glory. City is playing modern day football, in my opinion. Enough with the City is a small team with very little fan base. For Ghana, the fan club is in my house. Even grandma is a citizen. Very good afternoon to you guys. Barbara from Tema. Barbara, thank you for that message. Yes, this one says,
Barbara is a proper fan.
Yes. Gameli from Spintex says, by the way, greetings to Porter, wherever he is. That's an
Portinho.
And his message is that Pep subbing off Haaland. Okay, this was a few weeks ago where he had an issue with the substitution. All right. 055 11 11 997. Lots of messages on WhatsApp as well. Sorry, on Twitter as well. Those messages I read came from WhatsApp. Here are the Twitter messages. This one says, the reason why, this is Isahaku Abdulai, who says, the reason why Sir Alex Ferguson is considered one of the best coaches in European football is his consistency in being consistent for so many years. How many coaches of his era have won more than 2 UCL titles? Good question. Isahaku Abdullah. Sultan of Anyako says, Charles Sicho the Warrior. What's tactical analysis on steroids? FTK Liberty says, Sadio Mane will be back. The injury and workload from last season is having a toll on him. Brilliant take from Sicho and Gary. Laka Fred says, because it's buying, see the analysis. Arsenal versus City at the Emirates was similar. Arsenal were the better team on the day, but City were quality and punished Arsenal for their mistakes, which was giving the ball away in poor areas. Clem Kofi says, Daniel Koranteng, you are my man of the century. Thank you for the Riri performance. Oh, Charlie. He says. Jojo says, Sadio's struggles can be attributed. Sadio's struggles can be attributed to the timing and recovery of his injury. Prior to his injury, he was decent for buying. He will definitely sail through this tough period. And Kobe Amonim says, I stand with Sadio Mane, of course. So the hashtag is Gameplan on Twitter. WhatsApp number is 055 11 11 997. Let me read more messages. Goffred inside the Buakwas Kumasi says, superb analysis from Sicho and Per. What he's saying, I guess he will be a tactical magician. Tell him I'll give my Division 2 club. My Division 2 club.
You are kind.
Division 2.
You are kind.
He will take you back to Division 3. Go and ask Gary Neville.
Charlie, you don't believe in my abilities, girl.
I believe. No, you know, be say we know they believe, but you see that Charlie, the Ghana football, no.
The
forces that operate now Division 2 level.
It be screen touch analysis.
Charlie, the Ghana football.
Wait. Let me say something.
With this skirt, forget.
In 2008. When they were covering the tournament, GTV brought some coach. He was wearing coat all the time. His name is Graf Chauncey.
Coach Graf Chauncey. He was always doing predictions.
You do analysis.
When they gave with
my brother,
he was using slangs.
Yes.
It just tease pass.
So when you've got the ball in this area, you've got to cover the half space.
Oh yeah,
hey, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Go and ask our good friend Najima.
Yes,
our good friend Najima. And what happened to him at Kowi United?
Opele.
Oh, go and ask Opele. You sit on go and ask my good friend Christopher.
Soccer Argentina.
I say analysis is not coaching.
Hey, Massa. Well, ask my good friend Christopher Nimley. He left his slippers and ran away at halftime.
I think so far, one person who has been able to combine the two, though the person is yet to get to the highest level, is like Kingston.
Okay.
He does the analysis so well.
Yes.
And when he is on the pitch, you see.
Sundown's coach, Brulani Makwena.
Okay,
and that's so deep and it's a brilliant analyst.
Lions Zito's team are in Serbia. They won 4-0 against Serbia yesterday. Played some really good football.
Yeah.
But let me read more messages, guys. Godfred inside. Okay, I think
Charlie
I read
Godfred,
that.
thank you. You're very kind. Don't mind them. I'll do the job.
I like it.
Okay. This one says I should mention the number properly. I should say 055-1111-997 and not 1111. Hey, we go through things. So. Is it that you don't? If I say 11 and 11, you can't write 2.
2-1-1-1.
You cannot write 2 1.
It's okay. But you got that and send the message through. Anyway, he said good show, guys. Thank you. That's it. But okay, so I would say 055-1111-997.
055-1111-997.
Maybe Okra there was no, but do you recall?
I don't recall anything. Let's move on.
Okay. You don't recall.
Nabila, he likes stories, man.
024. Do you recall?
I don't know.
What if you go do? The kids in do like you, Papa.
The kind of stories you tell them. They like me, Rob. Every day they won't join news.
Okay, what is 024?
But I haven't forgotten.
I don't remember.
024.
You are
That's space phone.
Ariba. 024. That's why they were mentioning the numbers. Your phone number is 054.
No, that time Tumu didn't have.
Yeah.
So.
They didn't have network. So in fact, even in my village, we have Ghana Telecom only. Yeah. You have to climb tree and make the call.
Okay, guys, thank you. Enough of if you follow Nabila. You see, when he started his nonsense, somebody has sent a message from Boku. His name is Abanga Isufu from Boku.
Yes.
But the message is not for you; it's for Daniel.
He said Daniel. No, he didn't say Daniel. He didn't say Daniel. He said Daniel.
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 That's right. Hey, and the best sports analyst has just walked in.
Tactical. You remember the day of the draw? Tactical the day of the draw.
You said our next topic was going to be the next
Champions League.
The Champions League.
Over to you, tactical.
Lexus beer.
Which game is that?
Please. Chelsea Football Club. Yes.
Leave it to Alexis.
Yes.
No, you remember the preview Lexus did here, like the guy.
Oh yes.
He said, those of us who were here, we hated Chelsea. I beg, take over.
Yeah, like this. All correct.
I just came to greet you guys, so please carry on.
You want to analyze the Real Madrid?
I mean, these guys are setting me up, man. I'm not going to fall for it. I came to watch my tennis. So carry on with your.
Lexus, thank you. Lexus is up at 3 p.m. with the drive. But guys, quickly, and I don't want us to waste time there because there's a very important topic that really it's touching my heart. It's doing me something. But 2-0 from the first leg. Lampard says, the return leg at Stamford Bridge, the Chelsea still have a chance. Is that just a way of encouraging the players, or realistically there is a chance?
Look, friend, for me, I think the game plan made sense. The game plan was solid. The only problem I had with it was the two guys he put at the top. And that is because, you see, counter-attacking football is something very different. It's very direct. Now, the two guys he put at the top, especially Joao Felix, he loves combination plays, 1. 2, he doesn't have the instinct for direct runs. So he always wants the ball played to his feet. And that was a serious problem when Chelsea were transitioning. When Chelsea were transitioning and Kante picked up the ball, instead of Joao Felix to be making those incisive runs through the channels, he was sort of shifting wide and wanting to play combination. So he will shift wide and he wants Kante to give him the ball. Kante should keep running and then he delivers it to him. The only time I think in the game he did it well was in the first minute.
Yeah.
When he went straight down to the middle, the ball was given to him and he went through on goal.
That one's soft.
That one's soft. You see, Sterling also has that type of problem. But Sterling is a bit better. Although Sterling also wants the ball to feet. So that was the only problem. In terms of the midfield combination, perfect. The back three, perfect. But where your goals will come from, and that is the front two. And that is what for me just messed up the Chelsea game plan. There were guys on the bench who I think would have executed it better. Not
because
necessarily better finishers, but their runs, their instinct would have been better up there. If he was going to play a front two, I would have played either one of Sterling or Joao Felix. And I'll go for Joao Felix. Why? Because it's not every time that the ball needs to be delivered through a channel. Sometimes you may need somebody to hold that play. And I think Joao Felix does that better than Raheem Sterling. I would have played Mudryk in that game. Because you see, Mudryk is a winger, yes. But when you look at his career, he has accepted that he has pace. He knows he's quick.
He's rapid.
And he loves those balls played into channels for him to run in behind and cause damage. If he has a defender in front of him, even his dribbling style is pace dependent. So he's not those sort of players who stand in front of you, like a Sancho who stand in front of you slow and then go past you. He's sort of like a kick and run, or the skill and then involves pace, direct, running at opposition. So that would have been much better if Mudryk was playing maybe with a Joao Felix. Of course, both of them are not finishers. And Chelsea, though, unfortunately, Potter has sabotaged them with the Champions League registration and kept Aubameyang out of the team, who would have been perfect for this sort of game plan. But in choosing a front two, the personnel he went for and the profiling was wrong. And it really worried Chelsea. Because if you watch the game, Chelsea, they were breaking, but then the outlet wasn't there. And it was quite disturbing. They'll be forced to go out wide to Rich James. And Chelsea didn't seem too comfortable in possession. And another thing I also have to mention, Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos. Yeah. You see, football, it's not running plenty. You don't have to run plenty to have an impact. No. Your positioning, where you are standing, reading of the game. Toni Kroos, I think he covered the least distance in the game. He wasn't running at all. But even where he was putting himself, when Chelsea pick up the ball, just by virtue of where he's standing, Chelsea are forced to do something they didn't want to do. Maybe pass 2 square passes before they come for it, just because of where Toni Kroos was standing. And that is intelligence. That kind of intelligence, Charlie, it's not 100 million that you buy. It is grassroots. You teach it from... No, seriously.
No.
But Toni Kroos in own self, I don't think he learned it. I think it's
just
intrinsic. Yeah.
Because, look,
he's serious.
It was crazy because you see the Real Madrid press in midfield wasn't that intense. Yet when Chelsea broke out of their defensive line, Real Madrid were always winning the ball, and it wasn't always Kroos who was picking up the ball. But if you watched Kroos's positioning and his movements just around the, in fact,
he was blocking channels. Basically.
Simple.
He was defending spaces.
Simple, and it's not about Charlie. The guy is something.
This is what I want to say, and I want to pick on what Daniel said about the Lampard or the Chelsea setup not being better suited for the personnel that were chosen. I thought, and I didn't think I would be saying this. I actually thought at the beginning that Lampard's tactical setup was actually quite good, and that Chelsea created,
as I said,
and that Chelsea created lots of problems for Real. And in those opening 10 minutes, they probably should have scored at least 2 goals.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. And that's why, for me, that's why I'm getting at. That with better personnel, if he chose better players, do they have a chance?
I think the scary thing for Chelsea is that Real Madrid didn't even play well to the best of their abilities. That Madrid team you saw, we're not even out of the third gear.
It's also a consequence of the opposition.
I don't think so.
It could be.
I don't think so.
It could be.
I don't think so. And I'll come to it. You see, Real Madrid played not the 4-3-3 they are used to. They played the 4-2-3-1. Modric was playing as a typical number 10 in that game. Yeah. Because they realized that Chelsea were going to play with the back 5. Because Chilwell and Rich James were not necessarily overlapping. So they needed more bodies. So Vinicius, Modric, Benzema, and then Rodrigo were combining. And sometimes Fede would join. And like what Danny says about Tony Cruz, it's not a sliding tackle. It's not a chasing the player. It is the defending of the space. Unfortunately for Chelsea, there were many times that Enzo wouldn't pick the early pass.
Yep.
The pass would go short. Yeah. And anytime the pass goes short, Madrid have time to recover. In the opening 5 minutes or so, when N'Golo Kante picked out Joao Felix, and I think Joao Felix didn't pick the right touches. When Alaba is following you, and Alaba is on Joao Felix's right side, I was thinking Joao Felix would take a touch across Alaba's body. It's two things. You have one-on-one with Courtois, or Alaba fouls you, he's got a red card. But what Felix does is he takes short touches and goes right into the place where Alaba can catch up with him fast enough. If that is another player,
the angle more difficult.
If the angle more difficult and the player is on your neck breathing down you, so you don't have the freedom to pick your shot. And I think his run with that ball wasn't great. But I was surprised that after Camavinga had his yellow card, Lampard didn't release Reece James to hunt him more, because the thing is, yes, there's Vinicius, but Vinicius won't track back.
No.
So allow Fofana to do his bidding with him, which is fine. Even when Reece James wasn't attacking, he wasn't even helping Fofana.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there was a lot of isolated moments.
What was he doing?
It was also because Reece also had a yellow.
Yes.
So he was kind of cautious to take him away from the 1v1s with Vinicius.
So Fofana got an early yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, Fofana got the early yellow.
Yes.
So Reece James, who wasn't even helping Fofana, wasn't also causing problems for Camavinga. And the one time that he got forward, he puts in a very good cross for Sterling, which Courtois had to go low and fast to save. The other thing is, we speak about how great Chelsea's setup was, but I can't believe that you want to play with a back five or whatever and defend and hit Madrid on the counter, but they are able to find enough space between the goalkeeper and the back line to dink a ball over. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It cost them the game twice. The Chilwell red card and then the Benzema goal.
Yeah.
If you are defending as deep as Chelsea set up to defend, there shouldn't be that space between the back line and the goalkeeper. Yet Carvajal could find the ball in midfield, dink a ball to Vinicius, and force the first goal to happen. Then Cucurella makes a mistake to come short to come and try and mark Rodrigo. There is space for Ben Chilwell to get into. Pam, the ball over the top. Red card for Chilwell. So I think they might have had the setup right, but Chelsea's players, a lot of them are not playing with great confidence.
I agree. All right, thank you very much. That's our chapter closed on the Champions League then. They go again next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, live commentary on 99.7 Joy FM. But let's come back home, and I'll throw this one to Muftawu, Nabila and Gary. Stephen Appiah went to Kumasi, and I had an interview on Sumpa FM where he said that ex-players should be more involved in the running of our game. This is what he said.
Times no you chance no legends no former players no amunya chance no around that way, and I mean football is run by footballers.
Former players don't get the chance to lead. Football is run by footballers. It is not about the grammar or the English one can speak.
So I hope say it's not Stephen Appiah. I hope say one day one of us bet to me Abeli deny na best support say me are fine.
I hope that one day, not me, Stephen Appiah necessarily, one of us will get to lead and we will all support. It could be me or my colleagues. We all want to help. We have the contacts to help.
Some of us, we are very humble, but when you know your value, say,
okay. And this apparently didn't go down well with some football administrators, most notably an ESCO member, Odro Safo, who said Stephen Appiah should educate himself and that he's just talking out of frustration because he didn't invest well. That's a bit of an insult, to be honest. But, Nabila, we don't have a lot of time.
The times are finished.
But
it will be a major topic next week.
Not just next week. So if you, it's a running conversation. I agree with you. That would, but any thoughts on this? Because I mean, it's getting a little murky, in my opinion.
It is murky,
and Appiah is getting dragged.
And I think that. Steve Appiah's comments really ruffled feathers within the governance of football in the country. And I think many people are a bit disappointed because he's one person who was given an opportunity to be part of the committees at the FA. And I do recall initially he was appointed as international relations something, or Tony Bafo was appointed international relations manager.
He was coordinator.
Well, he was appointed as team coordinator, and later they named him on the management committee of the Black Stars. But some issues came up, some things happened, and many of us, we just know Steve Appiah, his appointment as a management committee member is on paper, but when it comes to actually being a part of that committee, Appiah is not a part of that committee since the day the appointment happened. Because I remember when I had a conversation with people within the FA and also people who are close to Stephen Appiah after they restructured the management committee of the Black Stars. One of the things Steve Appiah was really, really disappointed was the fact that the GFA president, Keto Kreko, did not personally call Stephen Appiah to tell him about wanting him to serve as a management committee member, but he asked Alex Asante to call Stephen Appiah for him. So Alex Asante called Stephen Appiah, and Ket spoke to Alex Asante through Stephen Appiah's phone.
Through Alex's phone.
Yes, through Alex's phone. And that was where many people felt that it was quite disrespectful. And in fact, they called him and said that come back and take your role as
management committee or team coordinator.
Team coordinator. And Appiah felt that was very, very insulting because considering what he's done for the national team, Appiah deserves some respect, and he feels they don't respect him that much. So that's why he's never played any key role since the appointment of that management committee in February last year.
Interesting. So basically, to sum up, what you're saying is that Appiah is coming from a place of hurt, a place of disrespect, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
that he has a genuine concern.
He has some genuine concerns, but it also goes beyond Appiah himself because he feels that the administration has not accorded former players respect that much.
And the famous story of Joado.
And in fact, it's quite broad. Broad. And many ex-footballers always feel that it is their right to govern football. But I don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
It's all over the world.
That's a huge conversation.
Yeah, that's a huge conversation.
I don't know if there's time, so there's no time.
Yeah,
okay, so next week.
But I think what Gary says when he started the show about being grey areas in every subject. This is a typical example.
You know, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you. My mom a happy birthday.
Can I sing for your mommy?
Yes, go on, Daniel.
Mause Atsrim. Happy birthday to my mama.
Happy birthday to Sitsofe mommy. Happy birthday to Sitsofe mommy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Sitsofe mommy.
Thank you very much.
Tomorrow is my son's birthday.
So he too is choosing for him or what?
Yeah, my son is
2 baby Gary.
1.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to baby Gary. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to baby Gary.
Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been another episode of Gameplan on 99.7 Joy FM. My name is Fentuo, Tahiru Fentuo. We appreciate all of your messages and your time. Until next week, do take care of yourself. Enjoy your